everybody. Today I want to share one of my favorite recipes with y'all, and it's Chewy trail mix granola bars, and they are so good. I would actually say out of all the recipes I've done, this is probably my favorite so far, and they're healthy and they're good for you, and it's very filling with all the ingredients that I put in there. So I hope you try this one out. Let's get started. So for this recipe, you are going to need 2 cups of gluten-free oats. These are the ones that I buy, but any kind of oats that you have at your house is fine. So 2 cups of that. You are going to need 1/3 cup of almond butter, or any nut butter that you choose. This is the one we like. You're gonna need 1 cup of raw almonds. You could do whole, chopped. I like the slivered. And I always try to make sure they're raw. You don't need any added oils or salt or anything like that. Just always make sure you flip it over, read the back of the label, and the only thing that should be in there is almonds. So you're gonna need 1 cup of that. You're gonna need 1/2 cup of pumpkin seeds. I like to buy the sprouted organic pumpkin seeds, but any pumpkin seeds will do. You're gonna need 1/2 cup of hemp hearts. I don't have the package anymore, but they're these little hemp hearts. They just look like little seeds, so 1/2 cup of those. You're gonna need 10 medjool dates. These are what they look like. And this is gonna act as our sweetener. They look like prunes, sorta. They kind of look weird, but they really sweeten it up and give it a really good flavor, and it's natural without using added sugar. So you're gonna need 10 dates. You are going to need 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. You're gonna need 1/2 cup of pure maple syrup. You could also use honey or agave nectar. I just really love the flavor of the maple syrup. So you need 1/2 cup of that. And you're gonna need 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And last but not least, you're gonna need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So there's your ingredients. Let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our medjool dates, and we're gonna take all 10, put them in a food processor. 5. And we're gonna process this until it's kind of like a doughy texture, kind of chewy and doughy. So this is what you are looking for. It's like almost like a dough. And that's just gonna bind our granola bars together. Of course, make sure your hands are washed and cleaned always. So that's the next step. So this step is actually optional. I like to do this step because it really brings out the flavor in the oatmeal and the almonds. But I just took my 2 cups of oatmeal and my 1 cup of almonds, and I spread them out on a piece of parchment paper. And I put these in the oven and roasted it for about 10 minutes on 350. And then let it cool down for about 10 minutes. You want it to be completely cool. But again, this step is optional, but it does bring out that flavor. But if you don't want to mess with that, you don't have to. So that would be your next step. Okay, so while my oatmeal and almonds are cooling off, I'm gonna take my dates that I've blended in my food processor, and I took my almond butter and my maple syrup and my 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm just gonna pour this mixture into the food processor with the dates. I'm gonna make like a little sauce, like a little almond butter maple syrup sauce. So this is gonna be the binder for our granola bars. So I'm just gonna mix this up. And I'll show you what it looks like in just a minute. Alrighty guys, so this is what it looks like when it's all blended up. So this is your dates, your almond butter or whatever nut butter you're using, your maple syrup, and your vanilla. So we just sort of made like a little sauce. It's gonna be the binder for our granola bars. Okay, so here's what our mixture looks like once we've done the dates and the almond butter and vanilla and maple syrup. So to this, I let my oats and my almonds cool off. So this is my 2 cups of oats and my 1 cup of almonds. I'm just gonna pour that in there. I'm gonna put in my 1/2 cup of pumpkin seeds. I'm gonna put in my hemp hearts. And last but not least, my cinnamon and my pink Himalayan salt. So I am just gonna give this a really good stir. Everything combines really well. And what you will need is an 8x8 glass dish. And I like to line mine with parchment paper so they're easier to take out and cut. Make sure you can, if your hands are super clean and you want to use your hands to mix this up, that's probably the easiest way to do it. But these are so filling and they're very good for you. They're gluten-free. They are dairy-free. Give you lots of good energy with all the fiber and the good healthy fats. There's no processed sugar. All right, and that is good and combined. Let me just grab my pan. Okay, as you can see, I have my 8x8 glass Pyrex dish, and I've just lined that with some parchment paper, and I sprayed it with a little bit of coconut oil so they don't stick. So now I'm just gonna press these down really good. And then we're going to cover this with just some plastic wrap. And we are gonna put this in the refrigerator just 30 minutes until it firms up so we can take them out and cut them into bars. Okay, so that looks good. So I'm gonna cover this with some plastic and put it in the fridge, and I'll show you what they look like when they come out. Okay, now that our granola bars have been in the fridge for 30 minutes, I'm just gonna pull up on my parchment paper. And you can tell they're nice and firm, so we can cut them into bars. And just lay that out. And just take your knife through like that, and then just cut each one into bars like this. And here's what they look like. They are so good for you. And I really think you guys are gonna enjoy this recipe. Thank you.